Muhammad's followers wait in Quba, a town before Medina, and watch for him. They spot him and excitement spreads. They run to greet him. People line the route into Medina and call out,
"The Prophet of God has come!"
Riding through the town, Muhammad lets his camel walk without reins. The camel comes to a courtyard used for drying dates. It flattens itself on the ground and Muhammad climbs off and asks,
"Whose land is this?"
2 orphan boys are brought to him.
"It is their land, Muhammad."
"I want to build my mosque here. Name your price."
It is a gift to you, Muhammad."
"Fix a price and pay these boys. This will be where we build. I will call the Muslims of Medina the helpers, and the ones who have come to Medina the immigrants. I want everyone who is able to work on the mosque."
The mosque is being built.
Our community needs to unite and strengthen. To help us grow, I've made a pact with the Jews. Muslims and Jews will have equal status. The Jews don't need to recognize me formally as the messenger of God, but they will defer to me in the case of a dispute. All decisions will go through me. I share with you a revelation that has just been revealed to me. Many of the people of the book long to bring you back into disbelief through envy that is in their souls. There are those who pretend to believe in my message, but are in private doubtful. They are the hypocrites who follow their satans. I now make a pact of brotherhood between the helpers and the immigrants. You will each choose a brother from the other clan and work closely with them. For myself, I cannot show favour to one side or the other, so instead I choose Ali as my brother. It is time to find a way of calling the people to prayer. We know the Jews have their horn and the Christians have their bell.
"Prophet, I had a dream about this very situation.
Tell me your dream then."
I dreamt a man came to me who said that the call should be made with a man's voice. The man should call out from a high tower.
This is a true vision. You know Bilal, the African. Find him and teach him to call the followers to prayer. He has a strong, excellent voice.
Muhammad orders that 2 dwellings be built, attached to the eastern wall of the mosque. As it is being built, Muhammad helps.
I expect the party of friends and my wife, Sauda, to arrive from Mecca in the coming days. My daughters and I will live in this house with her. I have sent for Aisha too. That's her house.
Will the wedding be soon, Muhammad?
I will wait until she has been here for a few weeks. Her mother can settle her into her new world.
Aisha is being prepared for a formal wedding. She is now 9 years old.
You've done a wonderful job with that precious fabric I bought from Bahrain.
Yes, it is beautiful, like the young bride. Come on, Aisha, I'll take you to your new house.
Is it Muhammad's house?
It will be for both of you. You are to be Muhammad's bride.
The mother takes her by the hand to the house where a few women wait by the door. They greet her with,
"For good and for happiness, may all be well, Aisha."
Aisha, her sister, Asma, and her mother go inside where Muhammad is waiting. The mother combs her hair and dresses her up with necklaces and ornaments. As a simple ceremony, a bowl of milk is passed. Muhammad drinks from it, then passes it to Aisha. She declines, but is pressed by her mother, so she drinks, then passes it to her sister. It is passed to Abu Bakr. Then, one by one, all leave the room except Muhammad and Aisha. The door is closed after the last guest leaves. Muhammad addresses his followers.
Muslims, as we grow in strength, God reveals new revelations. We are no longer just a few. We have risen up and can now face those who criticize us. Permission has been given to us to fight. I have had a revelation that gives God's blessings to attack those who are against us. Unto those who are attacked, permission to fight is given because they have been wronged, and God is able to give them victory. Those who have been driven from their homes unjustly, for no cause other than saying, "Our Lord is God." God has declared war on the Quraysh. They must submit to divine will. God says, "Fight them until persecution is no more and all religion is for God." My plan is firstly to disrupt supplies needed by Mecca. We'll raid the major caravans. The route and the schedule of the caravans often changes. We will begin with smaller raids, then take on the fiercer enemies of Islam. They have the greater booty. Abdallah, I want you to find the caravan from Yemen. Stay out of sight and watch it. Let me know how well they are defended. Report back to me and stay safe.
Abd Allah and the 8 men are hiding and overlook the camped caravan. The caravan is well stocked with raisins, leather and more. The Muslims are in a dilemma.
Muhammad didn't say we were to attack this caravan.
Perhaps because of the sacred month of Rajab. Does that still apply to our new religion?
It's time to attack. Remember the Prophet's revelation? Permission to fight is given unto those who have wronged, those who have been unjustly driven from their homes.
You are right, Abdallah. Prepare yourselves. We will attack before they move on.
They attack. An arrow kills 1 man from the caravan. 1 escapes and the other 2 surrender. Abd Allah takes the men, the camels and the booty back to Yathrib. In Yathrib there is talk. The Jews say it is a bad omen for the Prophet to violate the Rajab.
I didn't tell you to attack during the sacred month. Why did you attack? I don't want any part of this.
We're sorry, Prophet. How can we correct our mistake?
I'll think about it. I'll meet with you tomorrow. Stay out of sight till then. I have had a revelation concerning the situation. They question thee about fighting in the sacred month. Say, to fight in the sacred month is a grave offence, but barring men from God's path and sacrilege against him and the holy mosque and driving out his people are graver with God.
Those watching tell this to the men who look doubtful. The Battle of Badr. Muhammad says to Talha and Umar's cousin Sa'id,
Talha and Sa'id, I am trusting you now to prepare for our most ambitious raid so far. I need you both to bring me news as soon as possible about Abu Sufyan's caravan. It is returning from Syria loaded with wealth. I will leave soon with over 300 men.
Muhammad leads 300 men and 75 camels. 3 men ride a camel at times. They carry their white banner and camp near a well. In Mecca, word gets to the tribes that their supplies are to be stolen from the caravan. A rider returns to Mecca and announces,
Men of Quraysh, Muhammad and his men are about to attack your caravan. It's urgent to organise an army to repel the Muslims right now. Tell every able-bodied man to be prepared to leave at once.
The Quraysh organise their men to respond and form a large army. 1,000 men leave Mecca. The Prophet follows the coastal route from Yathrib to the south, making for Badr. It is here he hopes to ambush Abu Sufyan. He sends out 2 scouts who ask 2 girls at the well if they had heard news of the caravan.
Water is such a blessing in this heat. We're looking out for the trading caravan. Do you have any news on when the caravan is expected through here? It's on its way to Mecca.
I've heard it will pass through tomorrow or the day after.
Thank you.
The scouts leave. Not long after, Abu Sufyan rides to the well. He sees camel dung and examines it. The dung has date stones in it. This shows the camels have come from Medina. He hurries off to move the caravan along. The 1,000-strong army of the Quraysh join up with Abu Sufyan. The 2 sides face each other in anticipation. Hamza strides out to the Quraysh on foot and challenges one of them. In the fight, Hamza severs the soldier's leg. The 2 sides call opponents to face each other.
We're fighting men from our own tribe.
It is a sad day facing our relatives and our neighbours in battle. These Muslims are defiant and determined to destroy our life, our history and our beliefs.
This is one battle I wish I didn't have to fight.
It's here. We have to face them.
Hamza, Ali, Ubaidah, fight the 3 from the Quraysh.
From the Quraysh came Walid, Shayba and Utbah. Shayba and Walid were soon slain. They carry their soldier back to the Muslims.
Muhammad, I'm a martyr, aren't I? Will God accept me?
Of course, Utbayba. I tell all my men, all who are slain today will be sent straight to paradise.
There's nothing between me and paradise except the men who I am to fight. I'll slaughter them.
An arrow from the Quraysh hits one Muslim soldier, then another. There is a full-scale cry to battle.
Slay! Slay them! Kill them! God will give us victory!
At least 50 Quraysh are slaughtered, and they start to retreat.
Most of the men facing us don't want to fight us. They don't have the will to fight us. We'll make some of these men captives. We can get a good ransom for them, rather than killing them.
Good. Ransoms will pay for more weapons.
That's right. So far, the fight has been a success, but the enemy may make a resurgence. Abu Bakr, I want you to come with me to the shelter to discuss strategies. Hurry. You men watch the situation.
A man named Sa'ad is keeping guard over the shelter where Muhammad and Abu Bakr are talking. The first captives are being brought to the Muslim camp. Sa'ad looks angry.
Sa'ad, I can see you don't approve of captives being brought back here alive.
Muhammad, this is our first victory. God has given us this prize. I'd rather see these men slaughtered than left alive.
Yes, Prophet, kill them.
I think you're wrong. If we let these men live, there's a chance they'll become believers. Then our army will grow.
Perhaps Abu Bakr is right. I'll take time to listen for an answer.
Later that day, Muhammad and Abu Bakr are visited by Umar in the shelter. Abu Bakr is upset.
I've had a revelation about the captives. It is not for a prophet to hold captives until he has made great slaughter in the land. Have for yourselves the gains of this world, and God would have for you the hereafter. And God is mighty, wise. Prophet, say to those captives who are in your hands, if God knows any good in your hearts, he will give you better than what has been taken from you, and he will forgive you. God is forgiving and merciful. One man must clearly be made an example of, Abu Jahl. If he is still alive, he is to be killed. If his body is on the battlefield, it must be found. He has done more than any other man, stirring up hatred against Islam.
2 prisoners are led into camp. A soldier leads Umayyah and his son Ali as captives. Bilal recognizes his former master and yells,
There's my torturer. If he's allowed to live, you can kill me.
African, I'm taking these men prisoners. They're gold to me. Stay out of my business and let me get the ransom that I've earned.
No. If they live, you can kill me.
Men run to circle the captives and their captor. Ali, the son, is slashed by a sword. The soldier, letting go of the father, Umayyah, says,
Run! Get out of here!
The soldier is pushed aside and the 2 captives are slaughtered.
Bilal, because of you, I've lost my booty, and now my captives. You'll pay. God have mercy on you.
Throw the infidels into a pit. Bring all the bodies here.
A body is dragged past a young Muslim. He recognizes it. It is his father, Utbah. The young soldier looks shocked and pale.
Prophet, this is my father. Here he is, being dragged into the death pit. He was a good man. I loved him. I hoped he would come to Islam.
Perhaps you will see paradise. It is too late for your father. There is nothing more important than Islam. I know you are sad, but you will find strength. Forget him, and you will be stronger.
Some men are arguing about the splitting of the coats of armour and the booty of the Quraysh.
You've taken too much. Divide that equally, or it will be a fight.
You fool! It's every man for himself. I've earned this with my sword, my blood.
Men, stop fighting. There is a better way. Seeking a word from God, it was revealed to me. They will question thee concerning the spoils of war. Say, the spoils of war are for God and the messenger. Leave the goods, and they will be divided up later.
If you want it that way, Prophet.
Muhammad's uncle, Abbas, is one of the captives. Muhammad sees his uncle and says,
"Uncle, I will get you untied. It hurts me to see my own uncle opposing me."
Muhammad, my family's livelihood has been attacked. I had to join the fight reluctantly for our survival. This is a terrible day for me, Muhammad.
You are my family, my uncle. It would be much better if you joined our religion. I will see that you are well treated. Loosen his ties.
Abbas is taken away. A Muslim soldier comes across his brother who is held by a helper.
Tie him tightly. His mother will pay a large ransom for him.
How can you do this to your own brother?
My only brothers are in Islam.
In Medina, there is a meeting where some Jews are discussing the battle. The Jewish tribe is the Bani Nadir.
Muhammad's power in Medina has grown too fast. The treaties we made with the Muslims merely compromise us.
They expected us to follow their religion. You believe in one God, they say, and so do we. It's not that simple.
It's not the same God. Muhammad had produced no signs, no miracles. Nothing points the way to Muhammad as a prophet. There is only the force of his followers.
We have met with them several times, but talking is getting us nowhere.
Muhammad has killed outstanding men of the Quraysh, Abu Jahl, Utbah, Shayba. We must do something before our throats are sliced. I can only do what I know best. I've composed some poems that tell people what Muhammad is doing.
In a marketplace, a Muslim woman sells some goods. There is an argument with a Jewish goldsmith.
Could you move away from my stall? I have customers who are waiting to see me.
Don't talk to me like that, infidel. I'll stand where I want. You are nothing to me.
You wife of a murderer. Move on.
Hey, don't speak to one of us like that. You'll pay, Jew.
A helper stabs the goldsmith in a short struggle and kills him. The fellow Jewish stallholders break up the violence and they demand vengeance.
They will do all they can to ruin you, and they love to cause trouble. Their hatred is clear. They spread it with their mouths. They hide it in their hearts. It is time for us to act. Organise the men to confront the Bani Qanuqa.
The Jewish fortresses are a half-day's journey from the mosque. The Jewish soldiers organise themselves, but Muslims rapidly group around them, blockading them.
Muhammad, you've defeated us. I only ask you to treat my men well.
Muhammad ignores him and turns away.
Muhammad, treat my people well.
Muhammad still does not respond. Ibn Ubay grabs Muhammad.
Get your hands off me, Jew.
I won't until I have your word. These men have been loyal, good fighters. I want them treated with respect.
This is what I'll do for you. I'll let you live. You will be exiled and you will leave all your possessions behind. They are for our efforts. I won't give you much time to leave, a couple of days. Don't test me.
There is an exodus from the Jewish settlement. The Muslims soon come in to pick through the goods left behind. The Jews were metal workers mainly, and they leave behind weapons and armour. They resettle on the borders of Syria. In Medina, Muhammad is comforting his crying daughter, Fatima. She's 20 years old. They are at the graveside of her elder sister and his daughter, Rubqaya.
Uthman stayed with her as you marched to Badra. She didn't recognise us towards the end. She became delirious with fever.
You, my youngest, are so soft-hearted. You were the closest to Rubqaya and dear to me. Dry your tears, Fatima. There's nothing we can do now. Allah can't bring her back.
Prophet, you have told us it is wrong to cry and mourn over the dead. Why are you encouraging Fatima's tears?
Umar, you think you are wise. You test me. This isn't the time. We lost so many we loved in Badra. Now Fatima's lost her sister. Show some respect. Just let her cry and leave her alone.
Umar is in his house with his daughter, Hafsa. She's 18 and beautiful.
Daughter, you're a widow and you're only 18. You will not grow old a widow. You will marry again.
Of course, Father. Of those men you know, who is there to marry?
There is Ruqayyah's husband, Uthman. He is still grieving for his wife, though. He's not interested in marriage with anyone right now.
I've lost my husband so young, Father, and he's lost his wife, Muhammad's daughter. There is Abu Bakr.
Abu Bakr only wants one wife. I spoke to him about you, and he made it clear he does not want to marry again. Maybe I'll speak to the Prophet. He'll find the answer for us. My daughter Hafsa needs to find a husband, Prophet. She is too young to remain a widow. I thought of both Uthman and Abu Bakr, but they're not interested in any more wives.
Umar, I know a better husband than Abu Bakr and Uthman for Hafsa. I know a better son-in-law for you than these two.
I think I know the groom you are hinting at, Muhammad.
I have admired your daughter's beauty for some time, Umar. She will be good company for Aisha as well. Go and talk to her. She'll make a good wife for me.
A Jewish poet among the Bani Nadir tribe was reciting a poem that urged the Quraysh to take revenge for Badr. He recites one that satirizes the Prophet.
Through the desert sands, his armies descend. The unproven prophet holds our lives in his hands. Believe him not, the price you will pay will be your life, your family's slaves.
Those foul verses will spread. I will not tolerate anyone mocking me. A poet commands respect and an audience, and I will not be the target. It is evil. I demand it be suppressed. O Lord, deliver me from the son of Al-Ashraf, from the evil he speaks and the poems he recites. Who is with me in wiping this Jew out? He has defamed me.
I'll help you, Muhammad. I would be glad to get rid of a troublemaker.
Good. Speak to Saeed. We need some other men to help you take care of this problem. Saeed will find 4 men to do the job. Men, in the case of warfare, deception is just another weapon. Use this weapon against our enemies, just as you would any other. A lie to the infidel is as valid as sword.
The Muslim men are at the fortress and lure the poet out. They stab and kill him, leaving his body to be seen as a lesson. There is another raid on a rich caravan full of bars of silver and silver vessels. Muhammad is at the mosque for Friday prayers, giving a sermon on holy war.
The Meccans are assembling outside Yathrib. I've had reports they have an army of up to 3,000. In a dream last night, I wore a coat of armour that was indestructible. I was riding on a ram backwards. I carried in my hand my sword, but it had a dent in it. There were animals I knew to be mine that were slain in front of me. This is what I believe my dream means. Yathrib is the indestructible armour. We will win our battle. The dent in my sword means that I will be struck. I will live. The slain animals are my men. The ram I am riding on is the leader of the enemy squadron. My revelation for you today is this. Prophet, urge the believers to fight. If there are 20 steadfast people amongst you, they will overcome 200. And if there be 100 steadfast persons, they will overcome 1,000 of those who disbelieve, because they are people who do not understand.
The Muslim soldiers draw closer to the enemy forces.
Fight them until there is no more fitna, and the religion will be for Allah alone.
A fierce battle follows. The Muslims let fly one volley of arrows after another. In the back ranks of the Meccans are many women who are drumming and chanting. They are led by a large woman named Hind. Several slaves are with them. Hind talks to a slave named Washi.
If you want to have your freedom, I have a challenge for you. You must track down the Prophet's warrior Hamza and kill him. I want you to spear him with your lance. I want to see the body. Then you will have earned your freedom.
In the battle, Hamza is tracked by the slave Washi. The Muslims make progress and go forward down the hill. They break the enemy lines. Hamza was fighting with his sword when he was struck down by Washi's lance. Washi stood over Hamza, making sure he was dead. Then he went back to Hind. The combat is hand-to-hand, mostly. The horses are gone. A Quraysh horseman forces his way to the fighters near Muhammad.
Where is Muhammad? He is my target. I don't want to live if he lives.
He recognises Muhammad and forces the horse next to him. He brings down the sword on Muhammad's helmet. A soldier put himself in the way of the blow and loses part of his hand. Muhammad screams and collapses as the blow dents his helmet and his face is pierced by the helmet.
Muhammad's been killed.
This passes through the field. The Muslims still fighting began to lose their will and draw back, making their way to higher ground. Anas, a Muslim fighter, advances into the fighting and passes two soldiers who have become dispirited.
Why won't you fight? We have to keep going. We can't lose.
Muhammad is dead. There's no point.
What will you do now that he's dead? Get up and die like he did. We can join the Prophet if we fight and die. I can smell paradise. Come on.
Anas goes into the thick of the battle and is massacred. After Muhammad is moved to safety, he slowly comes around and regains consciousness. He has a deep gash where the helmet cut into his cheek. A soldier bites some of the metal that is embedded in Muhammad's cheek.
My friend, your blood has mixed with my blood. Hell's fire won't reach you now. Thank you.
It's an honour, messenger of God.
The soldiers see Muhammad is not dead, and Ka'ab is the first to shout out,
The messenger of God is alive!
Muhammad is alive.
He's alive.
Fight on!
Fight on!
Be quiet, Ka'ab. Don't let the enemy know.
One of the Quraysh, Umayyah, is looking for the body of Muhammad amongst the dead. He is on horseback. He hears Ka'ab and moves toward Muhammad. Muhammad grabs a spear. His men try to stop him from the fight, but he pushes through them. Umayyah approaches and draws his sword. Muhammad thrusts the spear into his neck. Then Umayyah, wounded, manages to ride back to his men to die.
He's still alive, but Muhammad has killed me.
What are you talking about? Muhammad is dead.
It was a wound. He's all right, but he speared me. He has said he would kill me, and he has.
Muhammad is helped to a shallow pool of water amongst some rocks and washes his face. They make camp and perform noon prayers. Muhammad cannot stand and stays seated, so everyone else prays seated too. Muhammad, Abu Bakr and Umar are meeting with the Jewish tribe, the Bani Nadir, outside of Medina. There is an oasis surrounded by palm trees.
Muhammad, you're invited to have a meal with us. Please stay. We'll prepare something special for you.
Thank you, Huyeh. We will stay. I'm happy that we can come to an agreement.
The three Muslims are left for a short time while preparations are being made for the meal.
The Jews are planning to kill you, Muhammad. Return to Medina straight away.
The food is prepared. We have a feast for you. Come join us, please.
The Prophet isn't here. I'm not sure where he's gone.
This is unusual. Did he say anything to you? Was he ill?
No, he simply left. I feel it's best if we leave too. There may be something wrong. I apologise, Huyeh. Apologies to your people. We will contact you soon.
I had a vision, Abu Bakr, while we were waiting. A voice told me that the Jews were planning to kill me.
Prophet, I didn't trust the Bani Nadir. This is a sign that we need to take our revenge. We should do it soon.
I will send a message at once.
The runner at the fortress of the Bani Nadir meets with the leaders.
The messenger of God sent me to tell you that you have broken your pact with him. He says you plan to kill him. Because of this, the Prophet gives you 10 days to leave your land. If you stay behind after that, your heads will be cut off.
What's he saying? Is he mad? Leave our land? He threatens us? We never imagined anyone would dare challenge us with vicious threats like that. We'll see what they have in store.
Huyeh sends a message to a fellow tribe for help. Many in the fortress pack their belongings. A message is sent to Muhammad.
You will not threaten us, Muhammad. We will not leave our homes and our belongings. If you threaten us with attack, then do it.
The Jews have declared war. Get our men ready. I want the fortress completely surrounded. They have no faith in my word. I'll deal with them swiftly.
The Muslims are all around the fortress. The Jewish soldiers are on the ramparts armed with rocks and arrows. The siege goes on for 10 days. The Muslims cut down many of the palm trees. Finally, the Bani Nadir give up. Huye talks to Muhammad.
It's over, Muhammad. We have nothing now. We are defeated. We can only leave.
Yes, you will leave this land. Take only what your camels can carry. Leave all your weapons and armour. Begin right now. Tell others about the power that defeated you.
The Bani Nadir file out of their land in single file. Their camels are packed with as many possessions as they could fit. They pass through Yathrib to make their way south of Syria. The Muslims rummage through their empty houses, picking out treasures for themselves and the Prophet. At a funeral, a body is taken to be buried near the Prophet's daughter. It is the Prophet's cousin, Abu Salama, who fought in Uhud. After the funeral, Muhammad talks to Salama, the wife of the dead man. She is 29 and beautiful.
Your husband was a great fighter and a strong believer. I knew him when we were boys together. He was brave then. He died from fighting a bloody battle. He is a martyr. You can be proud, Salama.
I am proud, Muhammad. I am very sad too. I only wanted to be with Abu Salama. I only wanted him as my husband. He was my life. I told him I never wanted to remarry if he died. He made me promise to find a man, though, if he was killed. He wanted me to be looked after. He wanted me never to be unhappy.
My dear, you need the protection of a worthy man. I'll do all I can to get you through your grief.
4 months pass.
Salama, you look terribly unhappy. You've been mourning for months now. I'm very worried about you.
You're kind, Prophet. My husband's memory still haunts me. I don't know what to do.
There is something important I want to ask you. It may make a difference to your sadness. I have an idea. What if you were to marry again?
How can I be a good enough bride for anyone, Muhammad? My best years are gone.
I know you are still mourning for your husband, for my cousin. I miss him too. Your best years are not gone. There is life for you. I want you to think about marrying again. I want you to consider me for your husband.
You, Muhammad? I have children. They've lost their father.
I will make sure they are cared for.
Muhammad, you have your other wives. I am a jealous woman. I'm not sure I could bear to share someone with others.
I will pray that God takes your jealousy from you. You and your children will be looked after. Now that Zainab has died, her house can be yours. You can see it is the best solution for you. I have thought about it.
You're persuasive, Muhammad. If it's your wish, I will be your bride.
Aisha and Hafsa are talking.
Muhammad told me that his new wife was not beautiful, that she would be no threat. It's a lie. I've seen her. She is beautiful. I feel very jealous. What can we do, Hafsa?
You know, there is nothing we can say, Aisha. Muhammad can marry whoever he wants.
I want him to pay somehow.
He's just a man with a lot of power.
Muhammad visits Abu Bakr.
Muhammad, I need your advice with a problem I have. Let me introduce you to Hanzala. He is from the Bani Tamim. Hanzala, please explain your problem to the Prophet.
Prophet, when we're with you, you describe paradise and hell to us so clearly that we can actually feel them. We can see them, smell them. Our daily lives are busy though. Our families, our work. It's so difficult to keep your teachings clearly in our minds. I've come to resent my daily life when it interferes with my spiritual life. Is there an answer?
Hanzala, if you were to constantly remain in the state of spiritual consciousness, you may as well not be on earth. You could simply pass on to the next world as you sleep. You must learn to deal with the everyday life and bring the spiritual world into it.
That makes sense, Prophet. I need to balance my zeal.
Thank you, Muhammad.
Muhammad leaves Abu Bakr's to go to Zaid's house. Zaid is not there. Zaid's wife, Zainab, is home. She is about 40 and attractive. She is barely dressed. A servant tells her Muhammad is at the door. Zaid is Muhammad's adopted son. He is about 50.
Muhammad is here! Muhammad, please come in. Zaid is out, but he won't be long. Please stay.
Zainab is standing in the doorway. The light catches her figure to show it off. She is beautiful. Muhammad is struck by the sight of her and has difficulty speaking.
I will come back later, Zainab. Glory to God the Infinite. Glory to him who fires men's hearts.
Muhammad leaves. Shortly, Zaid returns.
Muhammad was here just a while ago to visit you, but he didn't wait. He left, speaking to himself as he went. I think it was about me.
About you? What do you mean? Look, I'm sorry I missed him. I'll go try to find him. He must have wanted something. Muhammad, were you looking for me? You should have stayed. I was only out for a short time. Zainab mentioned she was caught by surprise when you came. She said you left suddenly. She said you seemed uncomfortable. Zainab wasn't expecting anyone. What do you think of my wife?
Zaid, I felt awkward seeing her, not fully dressed. I had to leave straight away. I never noticed before how lovely she really was. You've married well.
She's attractive, Muhammad. Despite that, we have been having our problems. Our marriage has never been a smooth one. Muhammad, you mean more to me than my mother and my father. I can sense that Zainab has made an impression on you.
I'm not sure what your point is, Zaid.
Prophet, if there was any desire in your mind for my wife, I would be willing to step aside, not standing in your way.
No, no, keep your wife. The thought of divorce is repulsive to God and to me.
As I said, Muhammad, our marriage has not been an easy one. Zainab and I have been arguing more and more every day. If you feel attracted to her, I wouldn't come between you.
It's not possible anyway, Zaid. The law states that a man can only have 4 wives. I already have 4 wives. The law also forbids men to marry the wives of their sons. You are my adopted son, yes, but my son just the same.
I'm sure you would make a better husband than me, Muhammad.
Muhammad is not the father of any man amongst you, but he is the messenger of God and the seal of the prophets.
Zaid, there has been a new revelation. I have now received permission to marry Zainab. I alone may marry more than 4 wives. My wives are to be called the mothers of the faithful.
Muhammad marries Zainab. The leaders of the banished Jews make their way to Mecca to meet with the Quraysh leaders. They meet in the Kaaba.
Abu Sufyan, we are not going to be pushed out of our homes, our land, by this aggressor. I say we work together as one. We must attack Muhammad and the Muslims in Yathrib to finish off this destructive religion now.
I agree with you. Together we should be easily capable of finishing off the threat. We respect the Jewish religion. You're the people of the first scripture. You're the ones with the knowledge. Do you think our religion is nearer the truth or Muhammad's?
You are closer to the truth than Muhammad.
Organise your troops. I'll prepare my men. We can attack in a few days. The attack will be swift and strong. All our forces combined will total up to 10,000 men. We'll be successful this time.
3 horsemen ride to Medina. They arrive and warn Muhammad.
I want you all to put forward strategies now. I need tactics, solutions immediately.
Muhammad, with the enemy's rapid approach, our options are limited. There's no time to surprise them with a secret location.
Messenger of God, the attackers will have huge numbers of horses. There was a battle in Persia where an attack, like this, was defeated by digging a trench around our troops. The horses were stopped and the battle was won.
Salman, that's a good strategy. Do any of you see any problems with this idea?
No, Muhammad, I think it's a good plan. We must organise as soon as we can. We'll need lots of tools.
There are several areas that don't need to be dug. There are stretches of high rock defending us. We need to join these with trenches wide enough to stop the horses.
Everyone will need to help. We will work day and night. Allah has preferred in grades those who strive hard and fight with their wealth and their lives above those who sit at home. Unto each, Allah has promised paradise, but Allah has preferred those who strive hard and fight above those who sit at home by a huge reward.
Hundreds of men dig the trenches. Muhammad is also digging. Stones are piled up on the Medinan side. The trench is dug for 6 days. There is a sighting of the Quraysh army advancing.
Halt! It's time to feed the animals and rest. I can see from here the Muslims are outside the battlements. That is great news. It makes our advance much simpler and easier. It won't take much to overrun them. Stop! We have been tricked. They've dug a trench. It's too wide to cross.
Muslim archers line the Yathrib side. They send a shower of arrows once the Quraysh are in the striking distance.
We need the help of our fellow Jews, Huyeh. If they came, the Muslims could be attacked on 2 sides at once.
I'll go immediately. I'm sure the Bani Qurayza will fight with us. Ka'ab, let me in. It's Huyeh. I have an urgent request.
Huyeh? I know what you want from us. We can't help you. We have a pact with Muhammad. I won't break it.
Let me in. We can discuss it. We have a contingent of 10,000 men. We won't tolerate Muhammad and the Muslims' attacks on us anymore. This time we'll root him out and finish this foul religion. We'll defeat them. Why did you make an agreement with Muhammad?
They insisted. They want to rule over us. They're very powerful.
So you've been pressured into an agreement. Let me see the pact you've signed with Muhammad.
It's true, the Muslims have pressured us into agreements that suit them. We had no choice. They're too powerful and vicious. If your army is strong enough, we might just be able to turn them back for good. This is the pact we made with Muhammad. Read it, then I'll renounce it.
Huyeh reads the document, then tears it in 2. The Quraysh look for ways to cross the trench. Umar goes to Muhammad's tent and tells him the news that the pact has been broken.
Excuse me, messenger of God. I have bad news. The Bani Qurayza have broken their treaty and are now at war with us.
That's a disaster. We made a pact. How dare they? I need a man. Zubayr, go and talk to the Qurayza. Hurry. Find out what is true and what they intend to do. Go.
Do you realise what you're doing? Have you forgotten what Muhammad did? You are sealing your fate if you renounce this pact.
Muhammad could be no match for the thousands of men who are about to attack him. We want our freedom from the Muslims. There is no pact now. Who is Muhammad anyway? Just a soldier, a warlord, nothing more. Muhammad, it's useless. The pact is broken. I have word that they plan a night raid in the centre of Yathrib. We must send more men to patrol immediately.
We will be victorious, Muslims. Allah Akbar. Those who reject Islam must be killed. If they turn back from Islam, take them and kill them wherever you find them.
A couple of horsemen try to leap the trench at the part that is barely guarded. The horses stumble. One gets across and there is a fight. The rider is stabbed and killed. Another falls into the trench. He is set upon and stoned. The Quraysh keep trying to find weak points. The siege carries on for nearly 2 weeks, exhausting all fighters. There is bickering among the Jews and the Quraysh. There is a great sandstorm and a wind that blows down the tents of the Quraysh. Muhammad wanders among the men. They are cold and hungry and dispirited. In the morning, Abu Sufyan is mounted on his camel and calls out,
Men, our horses and camels are dying. We have nothing to eat. The Bani Qurayza have betrayed us. These storms beat us down. It is time to return home. Leave if you want to. It's over. I'm going.
The army makes its way back to Mecca. A rider approaches Muhammad.
Messenger of God, they've gone. The plains are deserted.
Sit here, next to me. We'll praise Allah and pray.
After the battle of the trenches, the Muslims pursue their attackers. The next day, Muhammad is dressed in a turban that is ornately decorated with gold and silver brocade.
Muhammad, we don't have much daylight left.
Men, today there will be no afternoon prayer until we reach the enemy territory. The Bani Qurayza have broken their treaty with us, so we must now confront them. Ali, you will carry the banner.
Ka'ab is speaking with the Bani Qurayza.
These are dark days for us. Many of us have heard that Muhammad is a prophet. It might be true. We could join the Muslims. We could be spared.
We should never have broken our pact with Muhammad. We were fools. The Muslims want us to pay a tax. We should pay it. Perhaps he won't even accept that now.
I won't pay Muhammad any taxes, never. I would rather be killed than to pay tribute to the Arabs. I won't submit to them. We won't submit. Hold up the Torah and hold on to your faith.
He's right. Don't betray the Torah. We must be strong. We'll keep our faith in God.
The next day, the Bani Qurayza open the gates to the fortress and Muhammad and the Muslims enter. Some men from the Aus come to Muhammad.
Prophet, whatever you have planned for these people, please show them some leniency.
Very touching. I have an idea. Will it satisfy you if one of your men pronounces judgment on these people?
That would be a fair solution.
Bring someone here then. What about that man?
His name is Saad. Come here, Saad.
Give us your wisdom, Saad. What shall we do with these people?
If the Jews of the Bani Nadir had been put to death instead of being exiled, the army that invaded Medina would have been halved. I have no doubt what should be done. These Jews have been treacherous. I say, show no leniency.
Go on.
Saad, you're too severe. Think about it. It's not right.
I know I could be blamed for being too harsh. I'm a dying man. I've decided this is fair justice. Jewish law has instructed me. If they refuse to make peace and engage you in battle, lay siege to that city. When the Lord your God delivers it into your hand, put to the sword all the men in it. As for the women, children, the livestock, and everything else in the city, you may take these as plunder for yourselves. My judgment is that the men should be slain, the women and children be made slaves, and the property divided up.
Saad, that is a judgment of God. You are very wise. Men, do what he says. Tie up all the men. Separate them from the women and children. They will all go on the far side of the camp and be taken to the city later. I want all the valuables brought out from the houses. Bring all the armour, all the weapons, all the silver and the garments. Pour out all the wine. The men have until the morning to live.
The Jewish men sit together and recite the Torah. There are over 700 men. The women and children are crying, some screaming as they are led to the city. In the morning, Muhammad's men are digging long trenches.
Ali, once the trenches are finished, bring the men here in groups of 20. Bring them over to a trench. That will be their grave. Zubayr, bring the sword down swiftly. Just one blow will do it.
The men are brought out all day, some quietly, some struggling and shouting.
We are sons of Israel. It seems like God himself has decided to punish us. Where are you, God?
He is pushed down and beheaded. As it becomes darker, the executions are still going on. Torches are lit. The pile of headless bodies is massive and horrific.
Muhammad, it's been a full day's work.
Yes, and today things are going well.
Finally, there is one old man left, Zabir. He has been kept with the women. The women are crying.
Be quiet. It's not the first time we've been taken captive and persecuted. Show some strength. It's too late now to doubt. If we are to die, we've got to cling to God. Only then can we have the chance of being together in eternity.
Why weren't we strong enough to defeat these animals? What happened to the protection of our soldiers? We are all dead, dead.
Well, Zabir, here you are, the last of your men. Because you showed mercy to one of us in the civil wars, I've been given permission from Muhammad to let you live. We'll take your possessions, but spare your life.
You've taken my wife and children. What good is my life? I don't care about my possessions. Just kill me.
I want to give you something, Zabir. What if I arrange for you to be with your family?
I'll have nothing to look after them with. I'll be useless.
I'll see to it you have some things to live on.
Every man in my tribe has been beheaded by Muhammad. How do you expect me to live as the only man left alive? I'll go completely mad. Kill me. There's nothing to live for except defeat.
Fine, as you wish. You will die too. Perhaps, as some consolation, I'll have your wife and children freed.
He is led out to be slaughtered. It is sunset. Muhammad and the Muslims have pressed along the western route. Aisha is on a camel. She feels about her neck and panics.
Muhammad, my necklace, it's gone. It must have dropped off. It's probably on the ground. It's got to be somewhere near here.
Aisha, we can't stop here. There are no wells, no water. We must keep moving.
My mother gave that necklace to me on our wedding day. I can't lose it. Please, stop and find it. Muhammad, please.
We'll stop for a short time then. Men, hold on. We'll stop here for a little while. I need some men to help look for Aisha's necklace.
The Prophet's wife has lost something, and so we all have to be held up.
I think it's a necklace. It's going to slow us down. Abu Bakr, your daughter's holding us up. What's so special about her necklace?
It's a wedding present from her mother. I'm sorry about the delay. Take some rest. This won't be long.
If we have to stay here overnight, we won't be able to wash ourselves for the dawn prayers. What can we do? We have to move on.
Aisha is upset. We must look for it.
What can we do about the prayers, our washing?
Let them know I have had a revelation. Tell them, if you do not find water, then purify yourselves with clean earth, wiping your faces and your hands.
Daylight comes. They awake.
Aisha, that's enough. It's just not to be found. We must make a start now.
Aisha's camel gets up. Under it is her necklace.
It's here, Father. Muhammad, I've found it.
Heading back to Medina, the group has made another camp. They prepare to move off again. Aisha stays behind, having gone to the toilet. Her necklace slips off again. She does not notice it, though. She returns to her howdah to unveil her face, then realises she has lost it again. She slips back to find it. The group move off without her. She finds the necklace and returns to find everyone gone. She decides to wait and falls asleep. After a while, a young Muslim rides to her on a camel. His name is Safwan. He stands over her. Her veil is off.
You're the wife of the Messenger of God. How beautiful you...
I fell asleep. Everyone left. I went back to find my necklace. They've gone.
You found it, I see.
Aisha is riding Safwan's camel. He is leading it. They catch up to the camp. The men notice and start to talk.
Look at that, Aisha and Safwan. What is the Prophet going to do about that?
They're both going to be punished. Aisha is undisciplined. She's not a respectful wife for the Prophet.
In Yathrib, the men are dividing the spoils of their raids. They are going through the goods, then looking at the captives. Some will be ransomed, and some will be slaves. A beautiful captive woman, Juwayriya, is being inspected by a helper.
This is a fabulous prize. Harith's daughter. I'm sure to get a high price for you. You're lovely too.
I spit on you, pig!
I wouldn't advise that. You're powerless now. You do what I say when I say. You have nowhere to go. Escaping is pointless. I think you'll make me quite wealthy. I'll be back soon. Have something to eat.
Aisha gazes at her with some awe and fear. She knows that Muhammad will be drawn to her.
Please, I'm Harith's daughter. I want to speak to the Prophet, please.
He's inside. I'll call him. Muhammad, you have someone to see you.
Harith's daughter, is it? What do you want from me?
Prophet Muhammad, I am the daughter of Harith, the chief of these people. I'm being picked over by your men as if I were a sack of dates. I ask you, please, I need your protection. Could you arrange my ransom so I can go free?
I might do that. Or I might be able to think of a better solution.
A better solution? What do you mean?
I could pay your ransom, and I could keep you for my wife.
Aisha is walking in the city with an aunt.
Aisha, haven't you heard the talk about you and Safwan? People have been whispering that you are lovers.
It's not true. That is horrible. I don't believe that, do you? Is everyone talking behind my back?
Many are, Aisha. I believe you, though. When a man has many wives as Muhammad, there are bound to be some complications.
Aisha runs to her mother in tears. Muhammad comes in, and there are several inside.
Good day. How is everyone today?
Muhammad, let's talk outside.
I have been waiting for a revelation about this, and nothing has come.
Aisha is a good girl. The worst I can say about her is that she often forgets about her bread when she is preparing it, and the goats eat it. She's loyal to you, Muhammad. Don't doubt that. If you still have questions, ask her servants about her.
Muhammad is in the mosque.
What do you people say about those who want to harm my reputation and that of my family? What do you say about gossip, about lies? My household is sound and good.
If these slurs have come from the Oars, we'll deal with them our way. If they have come from our brothers of the Khazraj, it will be justified to cut off their heads.
You wouldn't make those threats if it come from your people, you coward.
Cut them down.
Stop it. There'll be no revenge. We cannot have a divided mosque. I want you to talk to each other, then leave here peacefully.
Muhammad is sending letters. He has a scribe.
Scribe, prepare to take down some letters. My cousin, Ubayd Allah ibn Jaysh, died recently. He was one of the first to settle in Abyssinia. To my disappointment, he became a Christian during his time there. Abu Sufyan's daughter, Hababah, a strong Muslim, was deeply hurt by his betrayal and is now left a widow. I want a letter written to the Abyssinian king Negus, asking for her as my bride. Also send word to Jafar. I want the Muslim community in Abyssinia to join us here in Yathrib. I want a letter to the Persian monarch. Write this down. I am the prophet of our times. I summon you to Islam. If you accept Islam, you will be safe. If you refuse, our horses will ride through your town. I want a similar letter to Heraclius, the Roman emperor, and to Alexandria, to the ruler of Egypt, the Muqawis. The time is right for the spread of Islam across the world.
An envoy from Persia comes to Muhammad to assess Muhammad for their leader, Khosrows. 2 men arrive. They have long moustaches and no beards.
Why would you appear like this in front of me? You offend me.
Our Lord Muhammad.
Your Lord? Listen to me. Tell your viceroy that my religion, my empire, will reach far beyond the kingdom of Khosrows. Tell him now is the time to enter Islam. I will allow him to be leader of the people in Yemen if he does.
Muhammad's letter reaches the new ruler of Yemen. Khosrows has died. The new ruler reads, then tears the letter up. Muhammad hears of this and says,
I'll tear him from his kingdom.
Muhammad and 3,000 men march to the north to attack Khaybar.
The Quraysh have heard of our plan, Abu Bakr.
They're hoping it will be our downfall, Muhammad. They say that the strength of Khaybar is impregnable. I know we can do this.
It's also filled with riches. If we're victorious, we'll be unstoppable. The men of the Khaybar are weak because they are overly confident. We'll take them, then we'll take their wealth.
The Jews of Khaybar convene a council of war.
It's time to raise some more forces. We've relied on our natural protection and our battlements in the past, but now we're facing a bigger threat. Make an offer to Ghatafan, half our date harvest for the coming year, if they send reinforcements to supplement our forces.
In the early morning, the Muslim army is right on the city. The field workers, about to begin the day's work, equipped with baskets and shovels, are shocked to see the enemy watching.
They're here. It's Muhammad.
The Muslims attack the nearest fortress. Muslim women tend to the wounded men and keep up the water supply. The Khaybar soldiers are excellent marksmen. The battle continues for 6 days. A spy from the Khaybar is caught. In exchange for his life, he tells a secret.
You have a choice, infidel. We'll slit your throat, or you can help us penetrate your weak spots.
Please, I will. I can tell you how to break one of their strongholds.
Go ahead then, talk.
The weakest fortress is across the valley. There is a storage near it that is full of weapons. There are machines hidden that can hurl rocks, and some to let men climb the walls of the fortress.
Kill him.
The Muslims follow the plan and take the weapons and machines.
Give me your cloak, Aisha. That will be our standard for tomorrow's assault. Ali, you will carry this as we attack, and we will see victory.
One of the final fortresses to hold out is the steep rock face with a citadel in the walls. Most of the remaining fighters come here to hold off the Muslims. A Jew from the Khaybar comes to Muhammad.
Please, I ask that my family be allowed to live.
Why should we bother with you?
Let us live. If you do, I'll give you information to finally finish this battle.
Tell us what it is. I'll see if it is worth your life.
There's a rivulet that supplies water to the citadel. It can be dammed and cut off their supply. They'll have to come out when there's no more water.
Very good. Take him captive.
No.
The Jewish soldiers are finally driven out to fight because of their thirst. A savage battle follows, and the Muslims win.
Muhammad, Kinana has asked for a treaty. He wants to negotiate.
Excellent. Organise a meeting.
You've come in strength, Muhammad. We don't want to be put to death. Yes, you've defeated us, but we want to live.
You have a city full of treasures. There are conditions that you live.
What are they?
You and your families may stay here because you are skilled workers and produce a lot of food in your farms and orchards. That is good for us. You will hand over half your yearly produce to us. I also want to know where the store of treasure is.
The treasure belongs to our people. You cannot have what has been ours for generations.
You will tell us without wasting our time. Bring the restraint. Get him talking.
A helper brings in a contraption to hold Kinana down. It exposes his chest. Boiling wax is poured on Kinana. He is tortured. He does not give information.
If he won't talk, give him one last chance, then take off his head.
Kinana whispers something. The helper raises the sword and beheads him. A party of 10 Jews witnesses this and signs the agreement. There is a feast and a Jewish woman prepares a lamb with poison and puts it in the shoulder. This is the part Muhammad prefers.
Sit and join us. It is a feast to celebrate our victory.
Thank you, Prophet. The meat smells delicious, especially after a victory.
Bishar, your father was the first one to pray towards Mecca. He was a great man.
My father taught me to admire you, Prophet.
That meat is poisoned. Don't eat it.
I've taken a mouthful. I feel bad already. My stomach.
Bring me the woman who prepared this. Who are you? What have you done? You've poisoned Bashir, and you wanted me dead too.
My father, my uncle and my husband, they've all been killed by you. You have ruined the lives of my people. Why wouldn't we want to kill you?
I understand. I forgive you. Now I need to rest.
The woman is led away. Bishar soon dies. The next day, Sifia, the wife of the chief Kinana, is brought to Muhammad. She is 17.
Look at this beautiful captive. What is your name?
You tortured, then you killed my father just for his treasure. You killed my husband, you murderer.
I asked for your name. What is it?
Sophia.
Sophia, you were betrayed by your own Jewish people. I like you, and I'll make you an offer. I can let you go free, back to your people who are working the land for us now. You may return to your impoverished, defeated people, or stay here. If you stay, you will become a Muslim and be my wife. Listen, men, you need to be aware of the privilege you have. You're living with the Prophet in these honoured times. You have a special responsibility. You must be more diligent than those who don't know me. Do you understand? Fight them until there is no more fitna, and the religion will be for Allah alone in the whole of the world.
Returning to Yathrib after the victory in Khaybar, the Muslims from Abyssinia also arrive in Yathrib, led by Jafar. Muhammad is overjoyed to see them again. He kisses Jafar between the eyes.
Jafar, I'm so happy you are back. You look wonderful, my friend. It is a great blessing to have you back amongst my ranks. Look at your wonderful family. Who's this?
You remember my wife, Asma, but you haven't met my sons. They were born in Abyssinia. This is Abdullah and Muhammad. Here is Orn. And oh, congratulations on your great victory in Khaybar.
Thank you. I'm not sure what brings me the greatest pleasure, the victory or your return.
I have brought you back the best present, finer than silver, your new wife.
Thank you for keeping her safe, Jafar. Habiba, I have prepared a very nice apartment for you. Aisha, show her where she will be staying.
Aisha walks Habiba to the apartment.
It is comfortable here. Muhammad is good to his wives.
I knew some of Muhammad's other wives when I lived in Mecca. We grew up together. I am happy to see them again, now as Muhammad's wife.
That will make things easy then. My problem is the Jewess, Sophia. Muhammad brought her back from Kaaba. I don't trust her. She is too beautiful, too young, and a Jew.
A Jewess? How can she ever mix in with us? The wives are meeting her today. It will be interesting to see what she is like.
The wives welcome the new bride. Muhammad is there. Aisha comes in, veiled. She stays back to observe. Muhammad sees her and finally comes to her.
Muhammad, you recognize me. I thought I'd watch for a while and look at the new bride. I was hoping I wouldn't be noticed.
Well, I did see you, Aisha. So tell me, what do you think of my new wife, Sophia?
She is just a Jew.
Take that back, Aisha. She's made her vows to Islam.
She is the daughter of your enemy.
She is one of us now, Aisha, and she's young like you. You'll have someone to talk to. It won't be long until you'll be friends.
I know I can't have you to myself, Muhammad. Another young wife will lessen the time you spend with me.
It's true. I have many fields to till, many pastures to graze on. You are my favourite, though, and I see your entry into paradise is certain.
I'll hold you in that promise, Muhammad. If I could erase your memory of Khadija, I would be less jealous.
Khadija is gone, Aisha. Don't bring her memory into this.
A delegation comes from the ruler of Egypt, answering Muhammad's letter that called him to Islam. The delegation brings presents for Muhammad: gold, fine cloth robes, a mule, and 2 Coptic Christian slave girls. The girls are sisters, Mariah and Sirin. An old eunuch escorts the slaves. He presents the letter to Muhammad.
It's a pleasure to honour the Prophet and great leader Muhammad. These gifts are from the ruler of Egypt, the Makwakis.
Did you bring a letter of commitment from your leader?
I'm sorry, Muhammad, he only sent these gifts.
I get gifts, but no commitment from the Makwakis. I want his commitment to Islam. I'm angry. This disturbs me. The slaves are exceptional. Let me see them. They are most beautiful. Let me see that one.
The eunuch leads over Mariah.
What is her name?
Mariah, they are sisters. The Makwakis is aware of your appreciation of God's beauty.
He is wise, but not wise enough to surrender to Islam without trying to distract me. Even so, I'll take these gifts. Give him my thanks, but warn him, this is not enough. The other girl, give her to Hassan.
Hafsa, it seems there'll be no end to Muhammad's harem. He's already spending less time with us. Now this, a concubine.
Muhammad, do you mean to make this slave your lover when you already have 12 wives? We're already neglected. You give us a few gifts to keep us quiet. It is not enough, Muhammad. We are tired of this ever-growing unhappy arrangement.
Listen, Hafsa, I am the messenger of God. You're the privileged ones. Remember that. The material gifts I give you don't last long, I know that. You want more and more. I try to accommodate you, but you are not satisfied. I offer you much more than any common man. I offer you power and protection. Be wise and take some time to appreciate it.
Muhammad visits the new slave girl, Mariah.
Mariah, my sweet slave, you are so beautiful, like a frightened little bird. I want to visit you every day. Owning you is so much easier than marrying you. You don't talk back like the others.
I'll make you the happiest, Muhammad. What do you want? Pleasure? Children? I'll give you a child.
It's a son I want. That would be something that all the others haven't done.
Come to me often, Muhammad, and I'll give you a son.
We want your promise that you will no longer visit the slave girl to sleep with her.
I understand this upsets you. I won't do it anymore.
I speak for all of us. Thank you.
Hafsa finds Muhammad has gone to see Mariah. Muhammad realizes he has been caught out. He talks again to Aisha and Hafsa.
You have been complaining about me amongst yourselves. You're saying I have been neglecting you. How dare you? You want everything that earth and heaven offers. I give you each my time. I give you my gifts. I feed you. I shelter you. You're ungrateful. You talk about my concubine. She was brought as my gift, my tribute. She is mine to enjoy, my right. Last night I heard from God. Do not make unlawful for yourself what Allah has made lawful. Moriah brings the messenger of God pleasure. You want to ban me from my rightful gift? You are all lucky to be my wives. Listen, God spoke to me. This is for all my wives. It may be, if he divorces you, that his Lord will give him wives after you, who are better than you, submissive to God, believing, devout, penitent, inclined to worship and fasting, widows and virgin maids. I won't see any of you for a month. It's time to be alone and contemplate this situation.
Muhammad leaves, and the wives are shocked. He's despondent. He spends a month in a bare room with a straw mat and 3 cushions.
Let the Prophet know that Umar's here to see him.
Prophet, Umar is here to talk to you.
Muhammad, this room's so bare. Why don't you allow yourself some luxury? Your month of solitude, is it because of your wives? Everyone shares your sadness. Are you going to divorce your wives?
I've warned my wives, Umar, but I haven't divorced them. I had to give them some time to think clearly about what is important to them, earthly things or paradise. Tomorrow, it's the new moon. I'll see them then. I'll visit Aisha first.
2,000 pilgrims make their way to Mecca. Muhammad leads the procession on his camel. The men are all white-robed and bareheaded.
Muslims, thanks to our treaty with the Quraysh, finally we return to Mecca. There's the Kaaba. We have 3 days without opposition to return to our sacred place.
Muhammad rides on his camel to the Kaaba and touches the black stone with his staff. The others follow. He cuts open a camel's throat in sacrifice, and many others follow. His head is shaved by Quraysh. He returns to the mosque, wanting to enter the holy house, but it is locked.
Go and get the key for the mosque. It's with the clan of the Abd ad-Dar. I know it is filled with hundreds of their vile idols, but we will soon change that. We'll change it for Islam.
The chief of the Quraysh won't give you the key, Prophet. He said that the treaty did not include this. He said you only to come for the lesser pilgrimage and leave after 3 days.
Bilal, climb up there, on top. Climb up and shout out the call to prayer. Hurry, make it loud.
Bilal climbs up and calls out the call to prayer. The chiefs of the Quraysh hear him and are angry.
A black slave just climbed on top of the holy house. What is he yelling out? I knew Muhammad wasn't to be trusted, but he's like a camel that begins by poking its nose in the master's tent. Before long, the camel steps into the tent and throws the master out. We shouldn't have trusted Muhammad and his agreements. Make sure he's gone on the 3rd day.
For 3 days they continue their pilgrimage. Abbas has spent a lot of time with Muhammad.
Muhammad, I've been tolerated in Mecca, but it has not been easy. It's a wonderful victory for Islam and for all of us who remained in Mecca. I want to show my gratitude, Prophet.
Abbas, I am grateful to you. You've stood firm in difficult conditions. That is the true test. God will show you favour.
Prophet, I want to offer you my wife's sister. You will like her. She is recently widowed. Her name is Mahmana. I can bring her to you tomorrow.
Thank you, Abbas. I remember her. That is a nice gesture. I think she will make a fine wife.
After 3 days, men from the Quraysh come to Muhammad and let him know it's time to leave.
The 3 days you agreed upon are over, Muhammad. By the pact, you must leave the city now.
I have a wedding planned for tomorrow. I'm about to get married, and there will be a feast to celebrate. Surely you'll let us stay another day. What harm will it do?
Your time is finished. You made a pact with us, Muhammad. We don't want your feast here. Leave the city today.
These men are rude, Muhammad. Should we deal with them?
No, Sahad. Now is not the time. These men are visitors to our camp. Let's show some courtesy. We will pack up and be all gone by nightfall.
Muhammad and his wives are preparing the dead body of Muhammad's daughter, Zainab. Zainab's husband is there, as is her daughter. Muhammad takes off an undergarment he is wearing and hands it to Sawda.
Wrap her in this before she is shrouded.
Muhammad says a funeral prayer and the body is taken to the grave. People watching from a short distance talk.
Muhammad is bearing another daughter.
He's had so much sadness. He's buried 2 daughters and 2 sons, and his wife Khadijah.
All his children came from Khadijah. A son would be such a blessing for him. He needs an heir. There's some hope now that his slave, Mariah, is pregnant.
His wives aren't happy. They're angry about that. The slave girl brightens up Muhammad more than his wives.
Muhammad sends 15 men to Syria as a call to Islam.
The time is here for our expansion. I am sending a messenger to Bostra. He will spread the news of the Prophet and of Islam. This is the plan for God and his messenger. I send you men to approach the tribes in Syria with friendship. Tell them the Prophet is ready to bring them into Islam. Go, and peace be with you.
The 15 men are on the Syrian border, approaching the tribe's fortress. The soldiers inside the fortress say,
"Look, I can see a group of warriors from the south approaching. Their men have been conquering all the tribes in the south. Now they're coming to us. Send them a message. Fire on them."
The Muslims are met with a shower of arrows. They fight back. The Muslim men are all killed except for one. The messenger to Bostra is taken by the chief and is put to death. Muhammad hears of these incidents and is furious.
Zaid, arrange for a force of 3,000 men. We are going to avenge this insult. We'll leave as soon as you're organised. Zaid, you will carry the white standard into battle. I'll travel as far as the hills north of Uhud and watch over everything.
The forces are seen to approach the border of Syria. A scout rider returns to the Muslim forces.
The northern forces are massing just ahead of here. I am shocked to see Caesar's imperial troops joining forces with the Syrians. We're completely outnumbered. I can't see how we can win this battle.
Go and tell the Prophet what you have seen. We only have a few choices. We could turn around. We could try to raise auxiliary troops. I don't know what to do. What do you think?
We attack.
The men in earshot gather resolve and yell their approval. The Muslim forces advance for a few hours. They sight the combined Arab and Byzantine forces. The Muslims are greatly outnumbered. The imperial squadrons are highly organised and sophisticated.
Men, we withdraw at first to avoid direct engagement. Head towards Muta, where the terrain can protect us.
They know they haven't a chance. We need to crush them today. Muhammad is becoming a nagging problem right across the region. He orders leaders of nations to join him and his religion. He offers peace, then he threatens us. His arrogance has swelled beyond imagination. Follow them and attack when I give the order. It's time to finish them off.
Muhammad watches from a hill some distance from the battle. Zaid turns to his men and yells for them to attack. Zaid, carrying the white standard, charges, but is soon wounded, then is cut down. Jafar picks up the standard to carry it. He is wounded and falls. Khalid finally gets the standard and holds off the enemy long enough to make a retreat. Muhammad watches the defeat and cries. The Muslims race away, heading back to Yathrib. Muhammad, in Yathrib, visits Jafar's house to see his wife.
Asma, bring your boys out here. I need to tell them something.
Muhammad kisses the boys on the head and his eyes fill with tears.
Muhammad, you mean more to me than my mother and father. Why are you crying?
Your husband Jafar has been killed in the Syrian battle. He was killed along with Zaid and Abdallah, as well as many more martyrs. It is a terrible loss. The Syrian army had the help of the imperial forces. We were outnumbered.
Women who have gathered nearby start to cry. Asma wails, holding her sons.
I've seen Jafar and the other martyrs of the battle in paradise. They are with the angels.
Abu Sufyan, representing the Quraysh, comes to talk to Muhammad about the truce that was agreed upon. This is the truce that let Muhammad and his followers enter Mecca for the lesser pilgrimage. Abu Sufyan is the father of Muhammad's wife, Habiba.
Muhammad, I wasn't able to present when you signed the truce at Hudaybiyah. I want to reinforce the pact and prolong it.
The pact has been signed, Abu Sufyan. Do you have any intention of breaking it?
God forbid.
That's the same with us, so we have no problems.
Of course not, Muhammad. We trust you.
Abu Sufyan goes to the mosque. He finds Muhammad.
Muhammad, I hope our agreement still holds. We are both honourable men. I know that we will protect each other.
I've already told you the pact is signed. You are free to leave now, Abu Sufyan.
Abu Sufyan leads for Mecca with unsettled feelings. Abu Bakr comes to Muhammad.
Muhammad, it seems that we should organise ourselves. I have a feeling there is a campaign on the horizon.
The Quraysh betrayed us. We should have no reservations about breaking the pact. I'll attack them, but it must be a secret. That way we'll have the advantage of surprise.
What can I do?
Firstly, send messengers to gather support from the tribes who can help us. Ask them to come to Yathrib during Ramadan.
I'll have masses of men here soon, ready to attack Mecca.
In Yathrib, it is Ramadan. A massive army is assembled, almost 10,000 men. The Bedouin, the emigrants, and the helpers, all able-bodied men. The Muslim army not far from Mecca are ordered by Muhammad to spread out wide and each man light campfires. The Quraysh are terrified at the sight of what looks like an overwhelming army.
They betrayed the pact. We have to send someone out there to talk to Muhammad. Abu Sufyan, you'll go. Try again. See what this madman wants. Take Khadija's nephew. Muhammad's sympathetic to him. Take Budil as well.
Abu Sufyan and Hakim ride to meet Muhammad. Abbas, on a donkey, meets them as they approach the camp, and he takes them to Muhammad's tent.
Muhammad, you have a strange following for a pilgrimage.
It is you who are strange, Abu Sufyan. You broke the pact when you attacked the Bani Ka'b tribe. Now, I have come to have victory over Mecca and to make it all come under Islam. The Lord will then give me all the riches from Mecca and all the people as captives. I want revenge. You three, you will tell me that there is no God but God, and that I am the messenger of God.
Muhammad, we're
Quraysh.
Quraysh. You know our traditions.
I know you worship dead idols. You will now submit to Allah and His Prophet. Now, Abu Sufyan, you say it.
I can't. I still have some doubt.
Submit and testify that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is the apostle of God, before you lose your head.
There is no God, but God.
Say the rest. Say it.
There is no God, but God, and Muhammad is the messenger of God.
Go back to Mecca. Tell the Quraysh that if they want to be safe, to go to the mosque, where they can lock themselves in their houses. They'll be safe if they stay out of sight. I won't attack anyone in your house, Abu Sufyan.
From Abu Sufyan's perspective, it looks like the massed forces are approaching Mecca.
Mecca doesn't stand a chance against the size of this army. This is a terrible day. Who's leading the forces?
That's Khalid. He's the son of Walid. Behind is Zubayr. He's leading the emigrant forces.
The last of the troops, the emigrants and helpers, are led by Muhammad. They are fully armed and armoured. The man carrying the banner for Muhammad, Sa'ad, calls out,
"This is the day of slaughter."
Listen everyone, Muhammad has returned. He is coming with a force of 10,000 men. They are heavily armed. Their force is unstoppable. He has given me his word, you'll be safe if you stay in your houses. Don't come out. He will kill you if you do. You can go to the mosque.
Abu Sufyan's wife, Hind, comes from her house and grabs at him, yelling,
You coward, traitor! What happened to our power? What happened to our great city? Where's the protection you were meant to give us? You've let it all disappear. Kill that greasy animal of a man. What have you done to us?
You've deceived us, Abu Sufyan.
It's too late. The Muslims have grown too powerful. If you go to your houses and lock your doors, you'll be safe. Go to the mosque. That's safe too. Forgive me, we acted too late.
The crowd breaks off to go to their homes. Muhammad halts just before entering the city. The city looks deserted, with the inhabitants inside their houses. Muhammad divides up the troops. He is now in the centre. Khalid's troops are on the right, and Zubayr on the left. He divides his troops into two. Muhammad gives the order to enter the city by 4 different directions.
Zubayr, take the entrance to the left of the city. Khalid, you take the right. We'll enter by 4 gates. Kill any who oppose you.
From a high point near the city, a force of the Quraysh are watching.
We're unprepared for such a mass invasion. They've split up our troops into 4. We can't just stand by and let this go unchallenged. We still need to fight.
We do. They need to know someone will stand up to them. We don't want our lives taken over. The odds seem impossible, but we have to fight. The men are ready, Saffron. There, attack them at the low entrance.
The Quraysh troops charge down but lose 30 men quickly. Khalid's men lose only 2. The fight is soon over. Some of the Quraysh hurry to their houses and lock their doors. Muhammad rides in. His tent is pitched near the mosque. His wives and his daughter Fatima are there. After a rest, Muhammad begins to put on his armour.
Get Qazwa for me. I'm ready to go to the Kaaba.
Muhammad makes the 7 rounds. He turns to the idols surrounding the Kaaba.
The truth has come, and the false has vanished.
He points to the idols and pushes them to the ground.
Get me the key to the holy house.
Uthman takes the key and opens the door. Muhammad goes in, followed by Bilal, Usama and Uthman.
Come in. Lock the door after you.
They look around. There are paintings of pagan gods as well as an icon of the Virgin Mary and the child Jesus. There is a painting of an old man.
Is this painting supposed to represent Abraham?
I'm not sure.
Protected. See this? I want this icon of Mary and Jesus left alone. Destroy all the other paintings. It's time to leave. I'll speak to those who gathered in the mosque.
Muhammad goes to the mosque. It is crowded with people who have come there for shelter.
Well, what do you say now? What do you say of Islam and the Prophet now? What do you think? I'm not going to be severe with you. You can see our strength. God forgives you. He is merciful, the most merciful of the merciful. There is work to be done though. Everyone in Mecca who has an idol in their house must bring it out and destroy it. You will all enter Islam.
Muhammad leaves and goes to a nearby hill. Hundreds of the Meccans come to him and join his religion. People are smashing large pagan idols in Mecca. 2 weeks pass. The Muslims smash statues in areas beyond Mecca. Malik is a 30-year-old commander of many tribes.
Mecca has fallen. It is up to us now to resist Muhammad, the aggressor. He tells us he has one God for us. He smashes our symbols. He preaches with 10,000 swords. He talks of revelations, but they contradict each other. He talks of peace, but since he moved to Yathrib, he practices war. He smashes the sacred sites of our ancestors. He takes what doesn't belong to him. He enslaves our women and children. Muhammad is no prophet. He's no holy man. He's a man of war. We'll fight him. We'll resist. I want 3 scouts to go. See if Muhammad's army is approaching. Hurry.
Malik, there are thousands of them. We don't stand a chance. They are already on their way.
I want the women and children at the rear of our troops. We'll bring our cattle too. Form one unit. It would look larger than it really is.
In the dimness of the morning light, as the 2 armies see each other, the mass of women and children with the army make it look much larger. The squadrons of Malik's men wheel out of the ravines and attack Khalid's men. There is a fierce battle. Finally, Malik retreats to the walled city of Ta'if. Many men are slaughtered as they retreat. Many Muslims are slaughtered. The women and children are caught up and then captured.
I want you, Badale, to be in charge of all the spoils. Take them and the captives to the Jurana Valley.
The captives are put into an enclosure. There are about 6,000 women and children, as well as thousands of animals.
This is the Hawazin tribe. Their people took me as an infant. It hurts me to have to fight them. I want them to come to Islam willingly, but I'll do whatever it takes. The Thaqif have held out in their city for 3 weeks now. They could last a year in there. I want word from Malik. Get a message to him. Tell him I will return his family to him if he becomes a Muslim. Tell him I will also give him a share of the animals. Hurry.
Malik comes to Muhammad at night. He bows, weakened, and falls under Muhammad's spell.
Muhammad, I can't fight you anymore. You have my family, my livelihood, my life. I'll submit to you and to your religion.
You were a fool to resist, Malik. I'll recite a revelation for you and your people. Listen. Let not the unbelievers think that they can get the better of the godly. They will never frustrate them. Against them, make ready your strength, including steeds of war, to strike terror into the hearts of the enemies of Allah and your enemies, and others besides, whom you may not know, but whom Allah knows.
Muhammad and the army return to Yathrib. There are several more raids that get more booty and spread intimidation. Muhammad sets out with an enormous army, 20 to 30,000. He makes treaties with Christian and Jewish tribes. If they pay him, he will promise not to attack them. A delegation of Taqif men sign a pact with Muhammad. Several envoys are sent to Muhammad to make pacts, or to simply become Muslim.
You have made a wise choice. There will be no more polytheism. Jews or Christians who want to keep their religion will be able to if they pay a tribute. That way, I'll promise them protection from the Islamic State. When my messengers are sent to collect the taxes, they are to be treated with respect, and you are to pay the taxes without delay.
Muhammad, great news, wonderful news. You have a son. Mariah has given you a son.
Allah has blessed me, at last, with a boy.
Muhammad is with his family, his slave girl, Mariah, and the baby boy. Muhammad is very happy.
I'll call him Ibrahim. He will be my soldier.
He spends a year at home as the baby grows.
Ali, I will not be making the pilgrimage to Mecca this year. I'm staying here. The boy is such a gift to me. Abu Bakr is on his way to Mecca. I want you to deliver the message on the day of the feast when the animals are sacrificed. I want you to recite the verses for me on the valley of Mina. Make it clear to everyone that after that year, no one will be allowed to go round the holy house naked. This will be the last year that people can go to the pilgrimage to worship idols.
The pilgrims are gathered to sacrifice their animals in the valley.
I bring the message from the Prophet. Those who come to the pilgrimage to worship idols will be given 4 months of freedom to do what you wish. After that, there will be no more protection from the Prophet. After 4 months, if you are caught worshipping idols, you will be killed. War will be declared on you. There will be an exception made if there has been a treaty made between the Prophet and the idolaters. When the treaty runs out, the idolaters will either come to Islam or they will be killed.
Muhammad receives more envoys. A group of 60 Christians of Najran come to make a pact. Muhammad receives them in the mosque. They discuss their terms and differences.
We are children of Abraham. It will be wise of you to enter Islam and become Muslims. We have one God as you do. The religion of Allah will be for all the world.
What you say about Jesus is not what we believe, Muhammad. We believe that Jesus is the Son of God.
How can we establish the truth of this matter? Listen, I'll tell you what has been revealed to me. The likeness of Jesus is the likeness of Adam. They are both made by God, from dust. We shall see who is telling the truth by calling down curses on each other.
Jesus said, we're not to curse each other, not even our enemies. You're saying that Jesus was simply man. We say Jesus was God's son. We say that Jesus and God are one.
Jesus was a prophet, as Moses was, as I am.
We cannot agree on this, Muhammad. There's no other option but to make a treaty with you.
You will pay the taxes I set for you in that case. In exchange, I'll give you protection for your churches and possessions. Hear this, though. You have been given the scripture. Believe in what we have revealed to Muhammad, confirming what is already with you, before we efface faces and turn them hindwards, or curse them as we curse the Sabbath breakers. And the commandment of Allah is always executed.
The baby Ibrahim becomes very ill.
Muhammad, you need to come to see Ibrahim. Mariah brought him to me this morning looking very ill. She does not know what to do with him, and neither do we.
Muhammad is worried and visits regularly.
Mariah, don't let this child die. You can't let him die. What curse is this? I want my son.
Muhammad, I'm so sorry. He's just slipped away. He's hot and so sick. My poor baby.
Finally, the baby dies as Muhammad holds it in his arms.
Ibrahim, my boy, you were my happiness, my hope. You were to be the Prophet's soldier. You are waiting for me in paradise.
The little body is brought out to the grave. There is an eclipse of the sun as the child is buried. After the pilgrimage to Mecca, Muhammad is in Medina. A letter is brought to him.
Prophet, these envoys have brought this letter from Musaylima. He is from the Christian tribe in Yamena and came to Islam recently.
What does he say, Ali?
From Musaylima, the messenger of God, to Muhammad, the messenger of God, peace be on you. It has been given to me to share my authority with you. Half the earth is ours and half belongs to the Quraysh, though they are transgressors.
Ali, if I didn't have a pact to treat these envoys with respect, I would cut off their heads right now. Take this message back to your master. From Muhammad, the messenger of God, to Musaylima, the liar, peace be on him who follows the guidance. The earth is God's. He will choose which slave shall inherit, and that choice is in the favour of those who love God.
Some of the tribes who have accepted you as prophet continue to follow their own tribal prophet as well. We need to deal with this, Muhammad.
Muhammad is in his wife Maymuna's apartment. He is laying on her lap with a fever.
Don't talk about the boy anymore. It's time to lead the prayers. I'll be all right. Help me up.
He is in the mosque at the pulpit, but he cannot stand. The followers go to stand for the prayers, but seeing him still sitting, they sit too. After the prayers, he needs help to walk back to Aisha's apartment. At the next call to prayer, he can't make it.
Aisha, I won't be able to take the prayers this time. I feel too weak. Ask your father, Abu Bakr, to lead the people.
My father would be upset taking your place, Muhammad. Besides, his voice isn't as strong as yours.
Umar might be a better choice, Prophet.
Get Abu Bakr to lead the people. I know what I need. Get him.
Fatima, Muhammad's daughter, comes in. Muhammad whispers to her, and she cries. He goes in and out of consciousness.
I want to be with the highest companion. Cover me.
Muhammad dies. Abu Bakr rides to Aisha's place. Muhammad's body is lying there covered by a cloak. He pulls it off and kisses Muhammad. People gather outside the Prophet's house and are panicky. Word spreads.
Listen, please. Muhammad is dead. Those of you who worshipped him, he is dead. Understand, God lives on. Worship God.
At Muhammad's funeral.
Already some tribes who turned to Islam have turned away. Some say they will not pay their taxes, and others are following their own prophets. Our task ahead is huge. Our army must be ready and must be strong. Paradise waits for them.
Thank you.